You ever scroll through a sea of citrus juicers, see that sleek stainless steel body, the promise of no miss extraction, and think, if only this one actually works the way the pictures say? I've been there. I bought a couple of countertop squeezers that looked amazing online, only to end up with a tiny pulp-filled mess on the counter and a machine that could barely handle a medium orange. That's why I wanted to make a review that actually saves you from that disappointment, especially if you're the kind of person who wants fresh juice every morning but can't afford to waste time or money on a gadget that underdelivers. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The Zumoval Minimax 15 is positioned as a compact, all-purpose citrus juicer for everyday kitchens. At first glance, it feels like it's trying to hit the sweet spot between a tiny handheld reamer and a full-size commercial press. That's a tempting balance, because most of us don't have a whole pantry of lemons, limes, and grapefruits that we juice in bulk, yet we still want enough power to get a decent glass of juice without sweating over the process. The real question is whether the Minimax actually lives up to that promise when you're standing at the countertop, half asleep, trying to squeeze a lemon for your morning tea. Let's talk about setup. The unit arrives as a single piece, with a clear plastic bowl that catches the juice, a metal reamer that you twist by hand, and a built-in pulp guard that slides into place. You plug it in, place a lemon half onto the reamer, and start turning. The first thing most people notice is how little space it takes up. It's roughly the size of a small coffee maker, so you can tuck it into a tight cabinet or keep it on a narrow kitchen shelf. For apartment dwellers or anyone who's fought for counter space, that compact footprint is a genuine win. It also means you don't have to clear a large area just to juice a single fruit, which is a hidden convenience that many larger models ignore. In terms of daily usability, the Minimax feels solid enough for regular use, but still light enough that you can lift it without a second thought. The reamer's gear ratio is set up so that you don't have to apply a lot of force, even on a big, juicy orange. I tried it with a handful of lemons, a couple of medium Valencia oranges, and even a small ruby grapefruit. Each fruit yielded a steady stream of juice with very little splatter. The built-in pulp guard does a decent job of keeping most of the pulp out of the bowl, although if you like a very thick, pulpy texture, you might have to manually stir in a bit of the leftover pulp after you're done. That's not a deal breaker, but it's something to be aware of if you have very specific texture preferences. Cleaning is where a lot of juicers trip up, and the Minimax keeps it relatively simple. The plastic juice bowl slides off with a gentle pull, and the reamer can be rinsed under the tap. There's no complex disassembly, and all the parts are dishwasher safe according to the manual, which saves you the hassle of scrubbing every nook and cranny. The only minor annoyance I found was a tiny amount of residue that can cling to the reamer's teeth after juicing especially acidic fruits like grapefruits. A quick soak in warm, soapy water solves that, but it's a small extra step you'll want to factor into your routine. Now, let's get to the hidden trade-offs. Because the Minimax is designed to be compact, its motor isn't as powerful as the bulkier countertop models you see in professional kitchens. That means it can struggle a bit with very large or especially thick-skinned fruits like pomelos or overly ripe, mushy oranges that release more pulp than juice. You'll notice a slight slowdown and have to work a little harder, but for the everyday citrus you're likely to use, lemons, limes, regular oranges, maybe a small grapefruit, it holds its own. If you plan on juicing a lot of thick-skinned varieties or want to produce large batches in one go, you might find the motor underwhelming. Another practical point is the noise level. The Minimax isn't silent. The motor hums and the reamer clicks as it turns, but it's comparable to a standard kitchen blender on low speed. It won't wake the whole house, but if you're trying to juice at 6 a.m. while someone is still sleeping in the next room, you might want to give a heads up. In my experience, the noise is more noticeable than the occasional pulp spatter, which is a minor concession for the overall compactness. Who should buy the Zumoval Minimax? If you're a single person or a small household that enjoys fresh juice a few times a week, if you value countertop space and want something you can store away when not in use, this is a solid choice. It's also a good fit.